to allow our youth and nation to dream again. We need to boost the confidence and inspire that very same hope we all shared as South Africans when Tata Madiba was released and made his first official speech. The role we have to play is not only to liberate society once more, but to liberate the minds of the society. Contrary to popular belief, we need to understand that we are not a country at risk, but rather a country with potential. Yes, we are confronted with all these adversities, but there are noble initiatives underway in our communities, and it is long overdue that we showcase these life-changing efforts rather than perpetuating our sad state of affairs. The Northern Cape government has made significant strides, and I don't think all of us will agree, in creating an enabling environment for our youth. And I can go on and on about these different initiatives, programs and partnerships that are opening opportunities for all, yet so much more can be achieved. Central to the business of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture is providing arts and culture, museum, heritage and language-related services to all who call the Northern Cape home. If we are honest and blunt about our current circumstances, it is safe to say that our limited budget has and will, for a significant period of time, place constrained pressure on our service delivery, footprint as a government, and especially in the culture and creative industry. It is therefore paramount that we have networking engagement of this nature to explore opportunities, collaboratively build on our social capital, and support each other in our mutual goals of rebuilding and renewing the agenda and roles of community arts centers within our communities. In the wake of our dismal economic situation, it is our duty to become more innovative in our business. If the funds are too limited to support the cultural and creative sector financially, surely we are to go the extra mile in creating an enabling environment in which artists of all forms can flourish. These engagements are not only vital for essential if we are serious about inspiring change through cultural affairs, as it unites, fosters tolerance, acceptance, builds civic pride and community participation, all of which is much needed at present. I believe that the community arts centers can promote relationships, social inclusion and unity between divided people, to which we all agree. We are all in influential positions to plant the seed of hope and to aspire our youth to want to better visions of themselves. It is important for us, regardless of political affiliation, differing cultural backgrounds, or even job descriptions, to increase trust, social inclusion, quality education, and confidence in the human spirit to contribute to the enrichment of our communities and the well-being of the citizens of the Northern Cape. Early in the year, we handed over much-needed equipment to the community arts centers in Pampista, Ritchie, Calvinia, Uppington, and Kuruman. This was part of our responsibility to support our community arts centers with the necessary equipment and skills to promote and enhance social cohesion and nation building. Community arts centers were established to provide opportunities for participation in the arts, to create opportunities for employment, and to provide cultural enrichment. The department is now in the process to ensure that we empower and recognize community arts centers that have made progress in addressing the challenges of service delivery the service delivery in the field of arts and culture. The priorities which have been identified includes poverty reduction, job creation and economic empowerment, skills development, social cohesion and nation building, and mass participation in and access to cultural programs. The support is also aimed to highlight and alleviate the role of CACs and to improve intergovernmental relationships. It is no doubt that the community arts centers would not be able to exist without the support they receive from their communities and government as well. For non-profit organizations, local support is the most important. Ladies and gentlemen, as Africans, poetry, theater, music, dance, and visual arts plays an important role in the way we experience our daily lives, both at home and at work. It emerges as an aspect of social action and resonates with the emotion and meaning among our communities. We therefore, through cultural activities, aim to entertain, we express our everyday life, and for the improvement and development of our communities. Music, singing, and dramatic performance have and will always be a natural ingredient of how we express our circumstances and state of life. It is therefore with this also in mind that we as the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture will alleviate the Community Arts Center program and ensure that we support community arts centers with equipment, internet access tools and programs implementation support so that it became a catalyst for positive change in our communities. We also emphasize in having localized arts galleries and museums creating, stimulating social economic experience for both the artists as well as the tourists. Therefore, on that note, you are encouraged to actively participate in the various discussions. Say your say, and make your voice heard. As I believe we all have the common goal of building sustainable community art centers. I thank you, Bro.
Morning, colleagues. Before I introduce our panel, I think the chairperson of CIFSA, when he came to give his message of support, he raised the issue around commissions. So, and then I think there was a caucus and then a resolution was taken. So what we're going to do, we're going to have our presentations, and then after the presentations, we won't have that question and answer session. We'll do all presentations before lunch break. And then afterwards, then the House is going to break into three commissions. One will discuss the white paper in terms of how it relates to community arts centers. And the second commission will be around networks or federations, as we used to call them. And then the other federation will be on capacity building and development. So, can we move in that manner? Yes, no? Okay, thank you very much. So in terms of our presenters, in no particular order, so we're going to have a presentation from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture by Ms. Aleta Topem, who's the Director of Cultural Affairs. And what she will be doing, she will just paint in the landscape of community arts centers in the province and what we have done so far as a department in that regard. And then already our Susan was here. So she will come and do a presentation in terms of the space of the community arts centers within the revised white paper on arts, culture and heritage. And then probably she'll also maybe touch on issues of capacity building. And then we have House Evelyn Marupin, which will be dealing with issues of networks. And as I'm saying, there's also going to be a commission around that.
Arts and Culture, Ms. Alita Topom, thank you very much.
Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
I'll try to be as short as possible to allow for the commissions to take place. There was a request when we at the mic that we just lift the mic up because the members at the back, we're not as audible as we think we are. Okay, my presentation then will be on the landscape of Northern Cape Community Arts Centre. So my slides, my presentation will have an introduction. I'll focus on the SWOT analysis of the community arts centres in the province, and then I'll give an overview of the provincial landscape, the strategic direction of the department as aligned to the national direction in terms, strategic direction in terms of community arts centres, and then we'll have a conclusion on the matters. So the department is committed to creating a prosperous and empowered province united in the advancement of sport, heritage, arts and culture. The long-term vision for the department is to have local artists will be active and supported participants in the development and enhancement of local arts and culture environment. Community arts will form a central part of the local arts and culture environment and will be easily accessible by all who live in and visit the area. The community arts in the province, will become recognized across the country as vibrant, innovative and inclusive. Can move. Our mission is to serve all the people of the Northern Cape by promoting, protecting and developing arts and the diverse cultures of our province, and at the same time be the catalyst in development programs, economic empowerment and other activities, thereby entrenching nation building, social cohesion and safer communities. SWOT analysis of the community arts centres in the program. I've really just highlighted the most essential areas in terms of the SWOT analysis. So what do we have as a strength in the province towards community arts centres? We have an emerging provincial arts infrastructure, for example, Mayabuya, and I want to add on there a strong emergency of our independent community arts centres and exceptional talent in the province. So that we can work with and that can take us forward. What is our weakness? So the main weakness for this program is limited investment and funding from government and private sector and in provincial arts development. Opportunities for us then, also just the core one, strengthening of community arts development efforts and the existing institutional resource base. That's not talking to talk to that, the weaknesses that we have, and with the exceptional talent that we have to professionalize the sector. Threat, two key ones for me for this province is self-interest in the sector and mistrust. Those are the two key ones that is really killing us in moving forward in a united way. And then there was a lack of interest from the local government and the private sector. So if we look at what we have in the province at the moment, I'll just zoom in to say that we have 8 important arts facilities in the province, namely the Mayabuya Centre, the Northern Cape Theatre, the William Humphreys Art Gallery, the Warrington Cultural Resort, the Thabo Morosi Multipurpose Centre, the Apollo Theatre, the Philipstown Community Arts Centre and the Richmond Art Gallery under the Modern Art Project South Africa. There is also, linked to this one, what I'm actually trying to say here, there is an opportunity to create more provincial art centres based on the statement
that there is an abundance of idle public buildings in the province that can be repurposed for CAC purposes. And again, I want to say, what we've seen during COVID now, really vibrant community art centers that we have going these days. This is a district perspective. So we've looked at the population. I'm just going to zoom in terms of the arts facilities there. Francis Bart, this is data that I have currently. It's data that must be improved upon and that must be updated. We have 4 major arts facilities. Again, we're talking about the Mayabuya centers in Key. There are 12 private art centers managed by NPOs and 2 are housed in government buildings. Arts organizations, there are currently about 60 registered community arts organizations on our database, and the number is continuing increasing. Most of the CAOs operate in backyards, school premises, churches, community halls, creches, etc. Bringing us to that issue that a community art center is not just brick and mortar, it goes beyond that. Art genres in this province, the most dominant art genre in the district are drama, cultural music and dance, various music forms, modern and contemporary dance forms, clap and tap, choral, very strong, fine arts and craft, film and documentaries. And then we have the tourism value add there. Can we continue? ZFM There's the population in terms of arts facility, has no major arts facility, and I'm talking about provincial arts facility, and is very much in need of those. The arts sector in ZFM is rapidly growing. There are 6 important independent arts centers managed by NPOs, namely Masekani, Sisonke, Omama Hamse, Tantabani Arts and Culture Council, and our ASA Center. Arts organizations, there are currently about 18 registered community arts organizations, and on our database there are about 11 unregistered active arts groups. Most of the CAOs in ZFM also operate from homes. The same story. Art genres dominant in the district: drama, cultural music and dance, various music forms, modern and contemporary dance, choral, visual and art and craft, film and documentaries, and then there's a tourism value add there. Can we continue? JTG. There's the population stats. Arts facility has 1 major art facility called the Tabamurosi Multipurpose Center, located in the Motibi Stad. There are 3 significant arts facilities under NPOs, namely the Workshop Kokasi, Baone Seodin Community Development Center. There are also 3 youth centers in Diklatong, Kassel, Tineng, and provide spaces for arts practitioners in their villages. Arts organizations, there are currently about 4 registered community arts organizations on our database. Most of the art formations are not registered. More data is still being collected in the district. Art genres, there it is, basically the same as the others, and then we have the tourism value add there. Pixley Kasema, there are our population stats. Let's just look at the arts facilities that we have. We have 3 major arts facilities in the district, namely the Phillips Town Community Arts Center, Apollo Theatre, and the Richmond Art Gallery under the Modern Art Project of South Africa. There is a DAR Youth Precinct facility run by an NPO. They are willing to introduce arts programs provided the department partner with them. There is also AC Arts, Art and Culture, CAC, and 2 youth centers that offer arts programs in Fosberg and Hopetown. Arts organizations, there are currently 10 registered community arts organizations on our database. Most art groups are either not registered or are registered as PTY companies, and that poses a particular challenge when it comes to the issue of funding. Our genres in that district is gospel and choral music, visual art and craft, various music and dance forms, and theatre at the Apollo, with the value add of tourism there. Can we move forward? Then Namakwa, in terms of facilities, has no arts facilities. There are 2 important consistent art centers managed by NPOs, namely the Dance Garage and Namjive in Oki. One art private facility is still being developed in Sandra. Some of the organizations use rental space for art programs like the Music Academy and Calvinia. The Calvinia Youth Center also has adult art programs. In terms of organizations, there are 9 registered community arts organizations. Some of the CIOs operate in school premises, churches, community halls, and rented premises. Genres they dominant is ballet, dance, cultural music and dance, various music forms, modern and contemporary dance form, visual art, craft, and drama. And I know the real dance is signature to that district. And then the value add of tourism. So when we then look at what I presented there, we have an issue that when we go into the commissions there, that we get our NPOs registered, that we look at the issue of registrations in terms of NPOs, that we begin to engage local community in conjunction with the department to identify buildings which we can then bring into our infrastructure development plan of the department and refurbish to become community art centers. And later on you'll understand why that is important. So what is the strategic vision and framework then for the department? Is to provide a shared vision for community arts development across the province and aligns to national policy frameworks. To enable all members of the community and support services such as government at provincial, region and local levels to understand how the development and enhancement of community arts will be achieved and to benefit from it. To enable new partnerships to be developed to contribute to achieving the development and enhancement of local arts, artists and arts organizations. Ensures that the development and enhancement of local art and artists is a living process and that changes and updates in order to meet future needs. This plan works at 2 levels, provincial and districts, as outlined in the next slide. So this is, in terms of that relationship, at the provincial level, we create the vision, we outline our core activities, establishes the operational models, monitor implementation in terms of the community arts strategy that the province has got. And then in the middle, the implementation strategy must be developed that provides detail for interventions, outline deadlines and targets, and then at a district level, there is where implementation then begins, and this translates the strategy into district plans, outlines activities, targets and timeframes, and those are our five districts. That basically speaks to the district development model. The broad objective of the strategy are to incorporate community arts into provincial and district planning programming framework, build capacity of all stakeholders to engage in and support community arts in the province, create opportunities for engagement in community arts across the province, maximize the involvement and usage of existing arts and heritage resources and assets in support of community arts in the province, create enabling and sustainable environment for artists through the development of needs-appropriate infrastructure. The strategic approach rests on 4 core areas. Bottom-up community arts programming, creating access to opportunity, community arts for social development. Can you go forward so that I can just explain this approach? Will then ensure that community arts initiatives are owned, supported and driven by communities and artists, with government acting as a critical support base and facilitator. Speaking to what Masalepa was saying, and MEC was saying in a keynote address, artists owning the community arts centers program, we must create an enabling environment. Existing energy, effort and capacity is utilized effectively in support of community arts through the identification of centers of excellence, like my Buya Center, in the province, and the utilization of these as foundation for the strategy. Incentives through programming and opportunities are created to ensure that the community arts are embraced with enthusiasm, and that the art form acts as a nexus of participation and learning, enjoyment and development. This approach also allows for the identification of an investment in projects and programs that will act as catalysts for community arts development. The potential of the community arts to assist in achieving social cohesion in development aims in the province is effectively harnessed through this approach. And I think Mr. Makwasi and Master Leper and MEC touched on the core mandate of the department, and through arts we played an important role of ensuring safer communities, bringing people together, social cohesion and nation building. Then the strategic direction. Each intervention is thus likely to have multiple partners and will need to be managed with due consideration to the complexities of these relationships. And this is where we are talking about that network framework that there will be a particular presentation on. Can we move forward? The strategy proposed 5 core interventions in line with the vision and objectives and strategic approaches listed above. You can take it from any way, but I'll start here. Building arts education, training and development. Building community arts centers up to award-based level. Building on cultural and tourism nodes. That is creating economy, sustainability, building cultural capital, building centers of excellence, and these two then forms, there's a link there that you cannot break, because your community arts centers inadvertently then have to be feeders to the centers of excellence. And in terms of the strategy, we want to ensure that each district do have a center of excellence similar to the Maya Center. I can show her. Yeah. In terms of conclusion, the provincial department is positioned centrally in facilitating in developmental role, activating the sets of relationships required to build sustainable community arts program and infrastructure across the province, and providing overall leadership in the realization of the strategy. This role would involve building a network of community arts organizations, centers, groups, and projects across the province. This we cannot do without the artists. Developing and maintaining a comprehensive database of individuals, groups, centers, and organizations involved in community arts programming across the province. Coordinating the training of local arts practitioners, groups, community arts leadership, management, administration, those are some of the areas. Facilitating national and international exchange of expertise, projects, and programs. Facilitating and coordinating joint and shared community arts programs across districts in partnership, contractual relationship with other government departments, including securing resources for these programs. Coordinating engagement of sector in provincial festival strategy program and with provincial national cultural institutions as listed. Advising the Northern Cape Arts and Culture Council on approach to supporting the community arts sector through programmatic funding. And there it is, colleagues. I thank you. I believe we will not go into questions and answers. It is for note-taking, for bringing recommendations to the table in terms of the rollout of the strategy. I thank you.
Okay, see, if you are existing within a community, can you lobby people? Can you demonstrate to them that the work I'm doing is critical? You need to get involved, you need to help. Advocacy issues, administrative issues, programming, project management, facility management, human resource management, and policies. Now we operate without policies, without even adhering to very important, you know, we just running like, yeah. And this is the training that is going to be these are the issues that will form part and parcel of the training. And to date, you know, we've been running training, we've been funding training. Ever since I joined the department, there's been training all over the show. So, but with community health centers now, it's really going to target and zoom into the things that are important. And last year we supported the Western Cape. They worked with the University of Stellenbosch, and now they have developed about 6 manuals, which I had hoped I would project here so you can see them. The work that they have done with the province and the implementing agency that they use in the province. And then we also funded Mpumalanga last year. They will also come up with a funding tool. Funding what? Funding toolkit. So there's quite a lot of training and manuals and workbooks that are available. We will share with you as soon as we receive final, but I have them here. So now I want to go back. Let me go back a little bit. I won't take time. In terms of that revised one, just briefly so. In terms of the roles and responsibilities, it says all 3 spheres of government to cooperate in providing facilities and resources for the development of arts, culture and heritage at a local level, with a recognition that each tier of government has different competencies in relation to community arts, namely at national sphere. You see, when it comes to providing you, Mem Tofem spoke about unutilized facilities and all over different municipalities. So it's going to be, it's our mandate as the 3 spheres of government to make sure that if you want to repurpose them, you must lobby local so that they are on board. Those things belong at a local government. So in terms of maintenance, we will request and recommend that they assist us. So that's why we need to work as a collective, collaborate with you. These are our responsibilities. Policy-driven implementation and interdepartmental coordination, intergovernmental coordination, financial and strategic support to this number, I don't know where the revised white paper got it from, but in realizing their mandate and for monitoring, evaluation, impact assessment and research. This is our, as national, just to support you, give technical support, provide strategic leadership, coordinate different departments to support them, and different sectors to be part and parcel. That's really the work that now the white paper says it is yours. And then to get that conditional grant system going, we must apply, we must lead, we are leading in that application, just as we did for community sport or sport development. I don't know what they call it, but in the department, it's only community art centers now that are not funded through a conditional grant system. So we have to make our voice heard, to force that Treasury does what it did to the other, because these are brothers and sisters, you know. A library, a sporting facility, now why do you isolate the other one? That's, I don't know how we lost it libraries went ahead with their conditional grant application. But when the RDP in 1996 was rolled out, some provinces just said, we don't want centers, we want libraries, like the Northwest. Remember, they already had Mabanas. They opted for libraries, but look now, libraries have nationally have overtaken community health centers. So this is our function as national, and this is the function of the provincial sphere. That is why when she came here and presented that provincial outlook, she was taking that role. They are responsible for coordination and resourcing at a provincial level, so that community arts centers produce programming in response to community needs. We must never forget that here we are addressing community needs. And then the list goes on. And then we're saying that we must, that MOU between the province and community arts centers, that it must be in place, especially if we are going to establish centers of excellence, because they come up with huge role. If we have Maibue as a center of excellence, then the funds that goes to a center of has got a lot of responsibilities. So that's why we will say, province, you sign the MOU with your center of excellence, so that it guides you as to how they will support those underneath. Because a lot of work, instead of the implementing agency, is going to lie in the hands of a center of excellence. Accreditation work, training work, a lot. Yes. So I'm not going to go through the whole lot, but this is very clear what their role is as the province. It is also clear what the local government. Once we get the provincial program up and running and we are all happy with it, now we take that program to local government. I think that's the process from here. If all is solid and we can prove to local government that our program is going to benefit you, and this is what the white paper, I think they will buy into the program. So let's strengthen here, and then when we are ready, we go face local government and see how we fit into their program and how we can support them. In terms of implementing the revised white paper, what we did was 2019 we started inviting provinces, lobbying them to come on board. We are happy now they are on board. The program now lies with the province. We are happy that we receive business plans as required, strategic plans on behalf of the sector, because we no longer deal with individual art centers, individual artists. They must all be consolidated within that provincial program that we have come up with. This is the provincial program. You see, they speak the same language as that of the policy. So we're busy with the implementation already, just that we must be sure of what we are doing and where we are going before we present our case to local way to make us move. This is the conditional plan. I'm not going to go into. So there was also a program. Let me just finish. This is the last part of the presentation. It's also there in the program, so I won't come back here to the podium. Draft indicators for sustainable community art centers. If we say it's sustainable, what do we mean? What does sustainable mean? What is to sustain? What will it take to sustain and to make these things sustainable? When that policy is accepted, when the revised white paper is accepted by all those that are involved, all those that have been identified as key role players, national, province, local, and the civil society, the sector, I mean. And that when provinces have signed MOUs or MOAs with local government, then we can say we're putting another piece towards sustainability. And then so forth and so. When provinces now, in their regions and they offer support, when CACs are part of the IDPs in the local government, when governance structures are in place, when centers can now produce annual business plan, and they are implementing quality programs, when intergovernmental funding packages are available, when a center has got a full-time general manager who will oversee the functioning of that facility, when there's a program manager, when there are qualified tutors or teachers, when they are capable service administrative staff, effective communication in the centers, effective M&E. This might not be a full list. If you think that there are things that we have omitted that will make these centers sustainable, we can include them. So thank you very much.